In the meantime, it's a huge day for Google's parent company, Alphabet. Here are the key letters of the day. We're going back to Sesame Street, people. D is for defense. Google has pulled out of the running for a controversial $10 billion cloud computing contract with the Pentagon. Google says the program might be at odds with its principles around artificial intelligence. R is for regulation. European politicians are calling for Google CEO to come before the European Parliament and explain the company's latest data breach. And P is for Pixel. Google has announced the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL handsets to take on, yes, that iPhone, a tablet to take on the Microsoft Surface, and a home assistant with a screen to compete with Amazon's Echo. A lot going on there. Rick Osterloh is Google's Senior Vice President for Hardware. He told CNN Business Google is exploiting its software know-how to make phones that anticipate what users want.
What we are trying to develop with Pixel 3 is the most helpful smartphone on the market. We want to make it so that we really help users get things done that they want to get done. And we can uniquely do that because of our assets in AI software and hardware. So an example would be our call screen technology, where someone who you might not want to talk to, say a spam call, can call your phone and we can answer it for you.
Go ahead and say why you're calling.
You've been selected for a free holiday.
They can't talk right now, but try calling them back later. Thanks, and goodbye.
Do you have a favorite new sort of AI-inspired camera feature?
I'm definitely a big fan of the photo booth because it just takes the photo automatically for you, and it makes it very easy to take a selfie.
We look amazing.
We do.
And what is it looking for? Is it just looking for smiles?
It's looking for smiles, it's looking for lighting, and it's looking for where your eyes are focused.
Okay, now Google, as you can see there, is investing in hardware. At the same time, though, it's facing questions about how it handles personal data. Mr. Osterloh, who you just saw there, wouldn't answer CNN's questions regarding how it handles data. Here on Quest Means Business, we have been asking Google to put up an executive, anybody, to talk about this. No luck as of yet, but we'll keep you posted. Seth Bigerman, though, is here. He's the senior tech writer here at CNN Business. We don't want to act like we don't want you here. Seth, you're good.
I'll take it.
And you should, because you have a lot of know-how about how Google is trying to face this now. Now, we've just had word as well, when we talk about regulation, that Google is, in fact, appealing a fine that it got in Europe of 4.3 billion euro. And in terms of how it goes forward, you know, when it talked about that data breach, it was some media reported that, look, they didn't report the data breach because they were afraid of the implications for regulation. What is the strategy here on Google's part?
You know, I think this breach, if we're going to call it that, came to light to Google in March, which was the same time that the Cambridge Analytica scandal came out. If there was ever a time for a company to be nervous about being in the wrong news headlines, that was probably then. It feels like Google is very sheepish about being cast in the same light as Facebook. They've tried to keep themselves separate from being...
It's not working.
It's not working. It feels like they're about to have a long-awaited moment here. And the irony is that the thing that might tip them over the edge is a product that people have forgotten existed for years. People haven't been using for years, and all of a sudden it might be the thing that puts them in the limelight.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it was Google Plus, which never had grand adoption, and it really will end up being the Achilles heel. In terms of Google's strategy, you know, there is a lot of people talking about the fact that in a very insidious way, it is getting into every corner and crevice of what we do online. Do you think that puts them at the sharp end of the stick when it comes to regulation?
I do think so. I think Facebook has really kind of monopolized a lot of the bad headlines so far, but Google is at least as dominant in taking people's data with the same privacy pitfalls. To date, they haven't really stumbled, but this could be their big stumbling moment.
In terms of what they're investing in, I mean, there are so many lines of business, and I'm sure some of them are secret. Where do you see them? I mean, is this about the cloud? Is this about the software piece? Is this about AI, or is it about all of it?
You know, I think Google wants to be first and foremost your gateway into the internet. And what that has meant has changed over the last 18 or 20 years that they've been around. Once upon a time, it meant just searching online. Now it means they want to be in your home. They want to be your phone. They want to be the cloud service that provides you with all your services. They need to be first and foremost that front player, and all companies are competing for this, of course, them.
Their best asset is all the cash they have, or also the software know-how? I mean, look, there's a lot of competition for talent, and everything that the hardware engineer there just discussed. I'm not sure about adoption rates at this level with that late entry into the market, or am I wrong?
I think Google's best asset is still that they dominate search and they dominate ads. Hands down, no one else competes with them on that front. Cache, less so. And importantly, their brand. I think even today, Google still has a pretty strong brand. That, though, could be damaged under a tight regulatory environment.
Yeah, they don't have a good reputation with me so far. I'd like to hear from you, Google. We'd like you to come on the show. We can catch you anywhere in the world. Seth, thanks so much for coming in. And I do think that Google, as you said, will continue to be really at the center of the news when it comes to regulation. Appreciate it. Now,